Hi everybody, I'm Dave. There's one more thing I'd like to bring up with regards to the subtle aspects of being human. It's another concept that's taken for granted that you've known about forever, but you don't really think about. You don't really bring that into how it is that you behave and what you do. But it is the concept that man has dominion over his environment. In other words, we can control our environment. We get to shape it. We get to change it. We get to whatever we can think of. Basically, we think of something and we go and do the changes in the environment in order to get it. You want to build a house, you go build a house. You want to build a car, you go build a car. You can do these different things. You can actually shape the environment. You have control over it. And as it turns out, we as humans are pretty much the top of the food chain here. All the beasts of the world, bow to our command. They bow to our supremacy. We basically control them. When it comes around to GMO foods, when it comes around to hybrid foods, there's all these different things where we can think of an idea, we can conceptualize it, and then we go off and we do it, we make it happen. We can go take DNA from one place to another to create something new. And as it turns out, it may be good or it may be bad. It's kind of a 50-50 thing, or it is really something that aligns to the energy that we have within. And so what I want to do is I want to talk about this, and I'm going to bring it in relations to the Chariot card, since this is a tarot channel. The Chariot card. One of the things to notice about that particular card is that it almost always shows the beast. It shows two of them, one black and one white. This is basically that we, in our infinite wisdom of being egotistical, basically we have a mind. We get to choose. We get to work from the ego. We have what we think is the right thing to do. And we have the power to go and actually implement it. That's what this card is all about. So what it reminds us, these tarot cards from history remind us of all these principles that we want to be able to look at and focus on. So with this one of the key things that it wants to present to us is that we can actually choose some good or we can choose some bad. We can actually have the white horse, which is typically shown as being calm and collected, or the black horse, which is typically shown as being out of bounds, being wild, being pulling at the end of the reins type thing. Whether it's horses or anything, basically is generally going to represent two beasts of some sort that are driving the chariot. So the chariot is man. Man has a scepter. He has dominion over his environment. It's not a sword in this case. And quite often, this card is associated with a couple of different signs. And so a lot of people think of it as there's some Venus influence in this sign based upon the star that's on it. There's Cancer influence on the sign based upon the moon in the background. There is Aries in that he's charging forward. There's a whole bunch of different signs that are all in this particular card. But what we want to really look at here is the concept that we are in control of our environment. We control the earth. We are controlling the things on the earth. And it is up to us to pay attention to this. We can ride a wild horse, or we can ride the calm and collected horse. We can destroy things, or we can create things. You get to choose what we're going to do. We can create a new mosquito that goes out there and is, can damage the environment, or we can domesticate the mosquito and make it to where it doesn't want to interact with humans or animals. We can go down the paths to try to make this work better in our environment or work worse. But in either case, we get to make that choice. We are the ones at hand making the choice to create or destroy. It's all based on the ego. Thus, the tarot card is going to show us that. So when it comes around to the subtle aspects of things, we need to pay attention to the fact that we have control over our environment. We've been given control of the environment. We can do whatever we want to do here, but we need to be careful about it. We need to take care of the garden rather than simply mowing it over. We need to water the plants rather than living in a barren environment. We have the ability to choose what we're doing here. And the more we pay attention to it, the more we will know that it's coming from an ego space versus coming from the divine space. When you look earlier in the cards, you'll find a bunch of those cards that deal with the divine space. We deal with the inner knowing. We deal with the cycles of things. This card is the last card in that first series, being number 7 here, before it leads into the moral cards. The next set of cards deal with what we need to do in order to get along with others and how we can grow as people in our environment. Whereas this card ends the first set, which really defines what we have control over, what the environment's like, things that are outside of our control, like the natural laws. We got to watch out for karma. Those are the earlier cards. So anyway, just wanted to share that a little bit with you, make it a short video. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. Before you go, like and comment so other people can find this content too. If you think you might be coming back, feel free to subscribe. I don't put out a lot of content, and you'll be able to easily find my channel again. Also, don't forget about the website. It is a tool for you. Registering and logging in is free, and it gets you all the information about all of my cards. Or if you're feeling courageous, maybe even purchase a tarot card reading. When I do readings, I basically will have you on the phone, record you, and we'll go through this process. It usually lasts about an hour, and we'll get into subconscious answers for your questions. Another way of helping me out is to share one of my videos on your social media. Any way that you can get my information out so that it can help more people, because the information's already there. Another way you can support me is to buy my children's book, A Loving Saint, Sai Baba. I was the illustrator. I work with Arthi as the author on this book. You can find it on Amazon. And thank you for the support. May these videos find you happy and healthy.